My name is Arahana Yadav. I studied Masters of Science in Global Affairs at Center for Global Affairs, NYU School of Professional Studies. While I was studying these courses, I was really inspired by counterterrorism and peacebuilding, where you really focus on local participation and giving individuals from that country itself the agency to solve conflicts in their own countries, which I thought was a very important notion while solving counterterrorism. So it was really about focusing on bottom-up approaches and rather than on top-down approaches, and really seeing what would a sustainable transition look like. So my capstone project was with this organization called Accept International. They are an NGO that is based in Japan, and they really work on solving terrorism and armed conflicts by using ex-combatants as agents of peace. An ex-combatant is an individual who disengages from terrorist organizations or working with non-state armed groups, and after they disengage from them and go into a reintegration process, they're termed as ex-combatants. The whole project was about developing a curriculum for youth associated with non-state armed groups, and really to give them the agency to be change makers or peacemakers, and really giving them the agency to solve the conflicts on their own, from their own narratives. The solution that we came up with was basically developing a curriculum. The whole curriculum was developed by Accept International, and within that there were certain modules that I developed entirely. This curriculum will now be put into practice in 5 different countries where there will be a pilot program. Those are Somalia, Yemen, to name 2. When these curriculums will be flushed out into these countries, we will see how effective they are with ex-combatants, and does this help in a sustainable transition for turning them into agents of peace and peace builders. And if that works out, then this will be spread out all around the world. There are 14 essential skills within the modules, and all these skills have been divided into 3 different categories. Those are self, social, and advanced, and these are ranging from peace building, digital literacy, understanding of disinformation, misinformation, something as normal as financial literacy. So it's specifically for the youth. So in order to train them and help them, there are different modules they would need. So there are a lot of DDR programs or DDR frameworks, which is disengagement, disarmament, and reintegration programs. There are several of those. They have been existing since the 1990s, 2000s, but we saw that one of the biggest gaps within our literature was that all these DDR frameworks have been developed into 2 binary categories. So they're either for the adults or they're for children, which leaves out this policy legal gray zone for the youth. And in order to address that, we studied gaps in existing literature, and from testimony analysis, Accept International did testimonies in various countries. They had an interim report from that. So the testimony analysis from that, a lot of this comes from the interviews that was taken with ex-combatants directly. So the whole research was done on the basis of testimony analysis, finding gaps in existing literature, and really using the testimony and what the ex-combatants want themselves to be in these curriculums. But I think how I would define success for a program like this would be if we see ex-combatants come as agents of peace and really help in involving more ex-combatants into these training programs, and really see if this can spread out in various parts of the country where armed conflict really exists.